A most pleasant morning going out to all out there in TV land, waking up bright and early today. What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful day. We say hello once again to one and all. Welcome to the Sugar City Morning Show. This is Robert Checker Usher, and we trust and hope that you are doing fine. You're doing great waking up to this brand new beautiful morning, this brand new beautiful day. Like we always say, what a beautiful morning, what a beautiful day. And we should make something out of the beautifulness of the day. And remember, as we give thanks every morning, let's make the best out of the good life that the good Lord has given to us and for us to see another day. So we'll link up with Delv this morning. Good morning, Delvi.
Good morning, buenos dias to everyone this morning.
Yes, good to hear from you. Good to have you as usual, Waking up bright and early, feeling strong today, girl.
Well, thank God, Mr. Checky, another day, Just have to give God thanks for it.
Yep, and I know a lot of prayers are coming our way as well, so it shows that it's really worth it.
Yes.
Well, let's do what we need to do.
Yes, and this morning's verse is taken from 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verses 18 to 22, and it says, "Wives, submit to your own husbands as is fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be bitter toward them. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing to the Lord. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Bondservants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, fearing God." Almighty and Heavenly Father, Lord, I just give you thanks once again this morning. Thank you for blessing us with life. Thank you for filling us, oh God, with your breath this morning, that we are able to become alive in this day. Lord, and I just pray that you continue to teach us as a people how to be, oh God, more like you. Teach the wives, Father, through your words. Teach the husbands and the children through your words, oh God, those things that are pleasing to you. And I pray that we may be a people humble enough, oh God, to receive of these teachings, to receive of your truth, that we may come to live and to experience, Lord, life and life abundantly as you have promised. And I just pray, oh God, just a special blessing this morning for all the persons working in the front line this morning, the police officers, the soldiers, the nurses, the doctors. I pray that you cover them with your blood, sweet Jesus, protect them and keep them safe, oh Lord, and may they be blessed to go home to their family at the end of this day. Thank you for all that you do in and through our lives. In the mighty name of Christ Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Well, thank you once again for all the great blessings all the time, Delv. It's always a pleasure to listen to these prayers and get and feel uplift every morning.
Well, to God be the glory, Mr. Cheke. It's a blessing by itself to be able to even be alive and to share. So just give God thanks in all things.
Okay, certainly. Okay, so today is Thursday, so let's do our poem for this morning.
Yes, and I am ready with it. This one I'd like to share is entitled, "Don't Focus on the Rain."
Don't focus on the rain?
Yes.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Sitting in the house, she looks outside as she sees the clouds rise. As the clouds got darkened, pitch black like a dark night before her very eyes. She looked to the sky and looked down at the pail on the floor, praying that the rain would come no more. Then started the pitter and the patter as one by one the drops did fell, and along came the thunder and lightning along with droplets on her bed. There's nowhere to turn to now, as nowhere seems to be dry, except for a mere corner in the room where she knelt down and cried. Not because it was raining or that the bed was wet, but for the pain that came along with seeing her children huddling beside her. She cannot easily forget. She is supposed to protect them, for she is the mom and the dad, but it never seemed to be enough, though she gave all she had. She is supposed to comfort them, as they too are being wet from the rain, Even so, she struggles to do so until she sees the sun slowly peeping out again. As a reminder that it's only temporary, that she'd hurtle in a corner for the light is bound to shine. So don't focus on the rain, for he who is the greatest light will show up in due time.
It will show up, but it'll show up in due time. So it's never late. You might think it's late. You might think it not show up. But when it show up, that in due time and at the right time, right?
In due time. He's never in a hurry, never late, but always on time. And it is the waiting process that is painful. Because, as human beings, especially, I will take it in the flesh. We have kids, we have bills, we have, we want a house, we want to get stuff done as people, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And when we focus more on the things that we want to do and not focus on what God has planned for us to do, it is painful because a lot of the times I feel like by the time I'm 40, I don't want married, I don't want my house finished, and I don't want to five people. And when that don't happen, then, we get stressed out. We feel like we're God there. But his timing is the best timing. It is just for us to say, Lord, I've done 39 and I'm not married yet. But if that your will, make it be so.
Yeah. That's why the young people, they need to cherish their life, right? Because right now they're young, and when they become 30, they say, man, I feel old. What have I done from since my birth up until 30? If you lose so much years like that, just wandering around and not to get yourself planned. But you go with the parents as well, because the parents are the one that nurture the kids and to lead them in the right direction. Show them the right way.
Right. And like I always say, it is one teaspoon at a time. And
Yeah.
sometimes parents, they do get discouraged, especially if you have kids where we want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Prayers work. They might turn around when we want to see them fixed up, but we have to keep in mind that the same way how God have a plan for family life, God have a plan for their life too.
He does.
So when they grow up there and they want a story and say, shucks, when I'm young, my fathers talk to me and I never want to listen. So no one don't have to be like that. They will have a story to tell, so we have to keep praying.
Yeah, you live to tell.
You live to tell by the grace of God, yes.
Yeah, well, thanks for all those inspiring words all the time, man. You keep us going. A lot of people will listen to this least segment every morning. They always send texts and blessings and things like that and say, thanks to Delve for sharing all these great words and great encouragement of optimism,
Yes. And thanks for the privilege also, Mr. Chickinson.
Yeah. Because have to be optimistic in our life, right?
Yeah. It's a lot easier. You even use less muscles in your face for smile and be nice than for be otherwise. So
Yeah.
Let's try to stay on the positive side.
Yeah, like I heard your pastor said one time, when I went to a funeral there at the church, at the service, he was saying, man, we feel this, that person can't hear what you say, but if you feel like cry, just cry it out, man. Cry it out. Mm-hmm. Cry it out and ease off yourself, Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks again then, Delv, and if the good Lord so will, we link up once again. Tomorrow is Friday, and hope that we will have the opportunity to see another day.
All right, if the good Lord so will, tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. Yep. Folks, at this time now, we'll be checking in with the Belize Met Service because we have the East in the house this morning, and it will be represented by Honorable Minister Elodio Aragon right here today on the Sugar City Morning Show. So we will now check in with the Belize Met Service for today's weather forecast right here this morning. And folks, we would like to say that one of our great friend, a very nice man, former PUP Minister of State, passed it. He said tested positive for COVID. Wow. Ian Leslie, known as Brother Les, the former two-term PUP Kayo North representative, passed away early this morning from a COVID-related illness, according to the PUP official party sources. The 73-year-old served in two terms from 1998 to 2008 as a Minister of State in the Musa administration. Reports say he was admitted to the KHMH last night in respiratory distress. And Mr. Ainsley Leslie was a counselor one time as well at the San Ignacio Santa Elena town council. He was a very nice man. The man where bring a lot of television to Belize, all the way up there in the Cajalpech area. Had all those big dishes and all the way in Benkevi Hotel Carmen. So I want to say condolences to his family and all friends and members of his party as well. Rest in peace, my friend. I remember one time we used to go and do some little business with him. One of my friends was selling some stuff to him, and then he was ready to buy. He was forming a band for the Cajalpech, and I tell the man from the left, he said, "All right, everything all right, but you not call me. I want to call you." That was the humorous part of the great brother Ainsley. So we say good morning and condolences to the family. Folks, let's check in with the Belize Med Service and then we take a break and then we'll be bringing on Minister Aragon right here this morning. And let's see if the forecaster on duty is up this morning to bring us this special report. All right, folks, so we're loading up. Okay, so we will bring you the general weather forecast right here this morning on the SugarCity Morning Show. And we join the forecaster on duty to bring us this report. And we say good morning to everyone today.
Good morning. Relatively moist and unstable conditions will continue over the area. The 24-hour forecast is for cloudy spells with a few showers, periods of rain and isolated thunderstorms, mostly inland and over the south today, then mainly along the coast tonight. A flood watch remains in effect for the possibility of flooding over the low-lying and flood-prone areas, especially in the south. High temperatures today will peak near 86 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 88 inland and 79 in the hills. Low temperatures tonight will range from 76 degrees Fahrenheit along coastal areas to 72 inland and 66 in the hills. The winds over the open sea will be from the east and southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and the sea state will be light chop. A high tide will occur at 8:49 this morning, followed by a low tide at 2:46 this afternoon. The moon will rise at 4:30 this evening, and the sun will set at 5:22 this evening. The outlook for Friday and Friday night is for a similar pattern to prevail. In the tropical weather outlook, at 6 a.m. this morning, tropical storm Zeta was centered near 35.3 north, 83.5 west, or about 50 miles west of Asheville, North Carolina. Zeta was moving to the northeast at 39 miles per hour, with maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. In the sargassum forecast, there is a chance that a few sargassum mats could impact local beaches in the coming days, but impacts are expected to remain minimal to moderate. And this concludes this morning's weather report.
A big thank you to the forecast on duty this morning. So folks, we should be having fair weather. Like we say, if it rain or rain, every weather is good weather. It might not be good for you at one time, but it's good for others. So let's continue enjoying. It's 20 minutes now after 7 o'clock, folks. We'll be taking our first break of the morning. And when we come back, we have the East in the house, and we have Minister Aragon representing right here on the SugarCity Morning Show. So let's take a break. We'll be back after these messages right here on North Television, Channel 10.
When you think about compassion, care and kindness, the area representative of Orange Rock East, Honorable Elodia Aragon Jr., immediately comes to mind. He has demonstrated through dedication and hard work that the people he represents are his priority. His work in Orange Rock East to deliver goods and services has been never-ending. Infrastructure, streets, water, land, social assistance, sports, and education are areas in which Mr. Aragon has focused and delivered to his people in the Orange Rock East. Honorable Aragon has lived a life of dedicated service to his country and people with an excellent track record. Orange Walk East deserves the best. So, for continued development, vote for Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr.
Largo Cruz, Orange Walk East. Mr. Aragón, él es una persona muy amable y cuando él promete algo, él lo cumple. Y yo soy UDP desde que yo nací y sigo siendo UDP y soy orgulloso de Mr. Aragón. No cometo ningún fallo. Mr. Aragón, el 11 de noviembre, 100%.
Development comes through vision, dedication, and hard work. These qualities possessed by Honorable Elodio Aragon are in full display as he embarked in a project to open new streets in Carmelita Village. This will allow access to new landowners to their own little piece of the jewel. Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr. and the government of Belize, leadership that works.
Taradrenas, Carmelita Village. We have a library, well fitted. We have bleachers on the Carmelita field. We have light. We have expansion of the village when it comes to village life. The Sandpit Road has been retrofitted and many other stuff like people get help with their pantry, they get help with their land. Minister Aragon is someone who cares, he understands, he always takes time out to visit you and discuss with you whatever situation you find yourself in. November 11, 2020, I will be red, Aragon Jr., son of the East. Aragon, we talking about who?
We have made unprecedented investments in developing the backbone infrastructure of our nation, which has positively impacted every community in this country, with new roads, sporting complexes, water and waste management systems, hospitals, schools, electricity, and internet connectivity. These investments have contributed greatly to the movement of people, goods, and services, and has bolstered our economic growth while setting the stage for a new era of Belizean prosperity in the upcoming decade.
Since 2014, Honorable Elodio Aragon has been quietly and consistently assisting deserving residents of Orange Walk East through a pantry program that he put together using personal resources and also with the support of generous business persons. It started with the distribution of 100 packages per month and has now doubled to 200 packages per month. The packages comprise of rice, beans, flour, and sugar, which are staples in any household and a great help to the recipients. During the state of emergency in the month of April, Honorable Aragon also prepared and delivered 3,000 food hampers to residents of Orange Walk East. In the first instance, 1,500 parcels were delivered, followed by 1,500 more 2 weeks later. This was done because Mr. Aragon was aware of the hardships some of the area residents were going through due to the COVID curfew. This is a man who cares. Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr., with you always.
Yo soy Samira, soy de Santa Marta. He visto un montón de cambios que ha hecho Mr. Aragón. Para estas elecciones yo voy a votar para Mr. Elodio Aragón, que ha hecho un montón de cambios en esta aldea y en las demás aldeas. Yo apoyo a Mr. Aragón, que ha compuesto las calles, el centro comunal, la luz, el agua y el preschool que está en camino para hacerlo también. En estas elecciones yo voto para Mr. Elodio Aragón.
Let's take a look at the PUP DNA. Julius Espat, representative for Cayo South, was sold the Chief Justice residence by a PUP government for a mere pittance and turned around and flipped it for over $1 million. Cousin Luke Espat got a sweetheart pass from the then PUP government when they sold him the country's most valuable asset in the Port Belize, and he allowed Ashcroft to take it over. Now cousin Mike Espat, representative for Toledo East, brought the VOA compound in PG with a DFC loan, which was later written off. He sold it for millions. Corruption is in the PUP DNA. This is the same old PUP.
My name is Andy Roberts and I'm from Tower Hill. He has lighted up our field that for years we didn't have any lights, and he maintains the field. And recently he scraped the clean grass road because it was a huge problem for us. It has a lot of potholes, but now it is white mob. We have a computer lab and a community center to do our social gathering. It was provided by our UDP government and Mr. Elodio Aragon. This 11th of November, I will vote for Mr. Elodio Aragon Jr.
Aragon, we talking about who?
Honorable Elodio Aragon remains steadfast in his commitment of delivering on his pledge to the people of Orinduak East. As a result, Palmar Village is receiving much needed attention. The main street that passes through the village, which has been eroded due to rains and use over time, has been upgraded by your era representative and the government of Belize. Street works will be ongoing in the area. Honorable Elodio Aragon and the government of Belize. Leadership that works. Since 2015, Santa Marta villagers have seen development like never before. The road, which was always flooded and sometimes impassable, is now an all-weather road all year round. The streets within the village have been consistently maintained, and new streets have been opened. The new Land 12-mile road and bridge were rehabilitated. Electricity expansion was done in several new areas, and street lights were placed throughout the village. Water expansion was also done. As a result, all villagers now enjoy potable water in their house. The old water well had become unserviceable, so a new well has been dug, providing a more reliable source of water to Santa Marta villagers. Prior to 2015, there was no community center, so one was built. A football field was also built and equipped with LED stadium lights. Lots were made available to villagers and their land papers delivered to them. Educational assistance has been given to hundreds of students from the village for high school and sixth form. Every year, mothers are given a treat, and during Christmas, everyone enjoys the generosity of Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr. In times of disaster, Mr. Aragon has always been there for the people of Santa Marta. In good times and in bad times, Elodio Aragon Jr. with you always.
On election day, let's make the right choice. Re-elect Elodio Aragon Jr. With you always. Leadership that works. Representing Orinduak East. Because our future matters. Not even a question who may voting be. You already know we voting for the UDP. Cause they are the best one in the driver's seat. So go and put your X right there, so we're the son of the East. Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon, Aragon. We talking about who? Aragon, Aragon. The number one, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon. One and only son out there of the East.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. It's now 29 minutes away from 8 o'clock. We have the East in the house today, represented by Honorable Minister Elodie Aragon. We're live on the East Radio as well, so we say good morning to Minister. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Checky, and of course, good morning to all our radio listeners and TV viewers. Pleasure to be back in studios today, Checky, you know.
You look nice and fresh today, man.
Why, well, of
You
course,
get a lot of
we
sleep
have
or
to.
what?
I don't get much sleep, I tell you the truth, but it's always good to get up and you see the sun out there, you know,
Yes,
Checky, and
yes.
you know that God has given us life. I mean, that to me, that's the greatest gift we have. So, you know, I feel good about that, and you know, it's always good to be in studios with you guys. You know?
Right. We are approximately 13 to 14 days away from the election. How do you feel going into the election right now?
I feel good, man. I feel good.
I know you
think
may
that-
always say you don't want to extend it, right? You want
Yeah.
to come for the time.
No, I think it's always right and proper for us to have the constituted election. If it's set for 5 years, then it's set for 5 years. That's the right of the people to be able to come out and cast their vote, and I don't think we should take that lightly in terms of looking at either delaying or postponing such a voting. No, I think that is within our constitution, and we should do everything possible to abide by the constitution when it comes to that. And that's my belief on that, and I do think that well, we have got it set for 11th of November, so I think that is fine, and I guess everybody is waiting for that day. And of course, you know, we're only days away from that event, and I'm feeling good thus far. I think the work that we are doing is showcasing itself. I think that the kind of political work that needs to be done has been done. The kind of campaign that is going on right now, well, you know, that will carry on from here to election likewise too. And I think we are well on track, you know, to having a victory for the Orange Walk East constituency.
Looking back to 2015, do you believe that you have filled a high percentage of what was stated in your manifesto?
Yes, I do. I think that we have done that and much more. I think, Checky, I've always said this, you know, and I've always been frank about these things, you know, because, of course, you have the PUP out there who are always talking about, oh, there's no work and this and that. Well, there's tremendous work that we have done. I think we have a manifesto. I don't know if you call it a manifesto. I call it more a record of accomplishments that speaks for itself, you know, when I sit back and I look at all the work we have done in the last 5 years, Checky, you know, and I compare that to the last 30 years or more, I would want to think. But 30 years, you look back and you look at all the representatives that we have had in the East, whether UDP or PUP.
Yeah, well, that was from
You know?
1984, you know.
You know, no, well, I think, well,
a
good
lot of
while,
years.
a lot of years. And I will tell you, when you compare all those representatives, the work that they have done, whether UDP or PUP, in the last 30 years, Checky, and you could add up all the work put together, and you compare that to the 5 years that I've been here, with the work that I've done in the last 5 years, man, they can't compare. And people might say, well, that's just timing. That's not timing. I think it has a lot to do with the leadership that is there, you know, because there's not a day that goes that I don't look at what I can do to help people and to see what I can do for the community. You know, and everything that has come to reality and is going to come to pass has been because we have worked very hard in lobbying, in working towards ensuring that we get what the East deserves. And I tell you that because this is a relentless thing. Politics is a tough business. Not because you win, that means you said. There's a lot of people who have held positions before in the past and did nothing, next to nothing, Checky. But we have been able to achieve great things in the East, and I think that has come about because of the fact that we have been always fighting for the East. And I think that is important, that is very important, and that is why I truly believe that leadership, the right leadership, is important because it is the one of the most important pieces of the puzzle in moving our country progressively forward. And I could tell you this because look at the East, for instance, Checky. I have been here 5 years only. And look at the entire country you could look at and ask me how many representatives or ministers And remember, I don't know, a full-fledged minister, just minister of state,
Yes.
And people must understand that there's a difference likewise in terms of that. But when you look at the 5 years that I've been here, Cheki, I have brought an industry to Orange Walk. Johnny Briseño has been there 30 years. That's what industry has brought. The Lee soybean project that the Taiwanese fully sponsored that went underwater, for the corruption of the PUP. But right now we have brought a brewery company to this country. And it's here in Orange Walk. It has been brought to Orange Walk. And that has not come here by chance. That has come here through efforts that I have done to ensure that it comes here.
It's not an overnight thing.
Not overnight thing, and we are talking right now, if anybody goes out there are millions of dollars on the ground right now. And that will equate, one, it will improve our general, our foreign revenue to this country. It will also bring about, and the most important thing is the jobs to our Belizeans in Orange Walk, to our people in Orange Walk. When that is similar size to Bowen and Bowen, So you look at Bowen and say how much workers they have employed. There are well over 200 workers, I think, they have employed. Because that's our 24 hours that work.
Employees.
Yes, they have a lot. So this factory is about employment for the people. And yes, I've created some enemies well, no, I wouldn't even call them enemies because I have none, as far as I know. I just have people who are maybe not happy or not or dislike me for the stance that I take in terms that when I put the people and country first always,
So when you stand up, it's behalf of it's behalf of the people in the east and in extension the country.
Of course, and Cheki, so we have brought a brewery company to Orange Walk. I mean, to me that is a wonderful thing because now we create competition, two, we create jobs, and three, people in Orange Walk will benefit from this. And this is the way I think that we have to begin to look at countrywide. We need to be able to bring about industries that will bring about employment for our people, man. And this is something that has happened in Orange Walk in the last couple of years now. Johnny has been there for 30 years, and we hinga for sure that when he bring about jobs for the people. But this is we have to have that garners to work for people, to try to look at how we improve the lives of our people in our division first and foremost, and of course the country. And these are the kinds of work that sets me apart, Cheki, and I do these things because at the end of the day, I know how important it is for people to have employment. A lot of people don't have jobs out there, Cheki. You go out there, you talk to people, and you find, well, I don't got no job, and this and that. It's tough. But by being able to do this, Cheki, it brings about the necessary employment that could assist hundreds of families. And for that, I feel good about that in terms that these are the kind of work that we have done. When you look at the Louisiana government school, Cheki, so massive that building looks. You could just say, it's not even finished as yet, and I could look at that size of that building, and I could see everything that is going to happen in that building in terms of the kids, the classrooms, in terms of the computer lab, in terms of the staff offices, I mean, tremendous thing. That is, and that are not just one idle project. That is a project that will stand there for years to come. It'd be a massive addition to the Louisiana government school, and that not just happen either. We had the PTA staff, the principal pushing for this thing, but these things were just there. We have to fight for that in cabinet, and being able to have that become a reality today, man, I feel good about that. You have the Santa Marta preschool, first time ever in their history will get a preschool. That not just happened because somebody made it think about Santa Marta, that development. No, I had to take that and fight for that because who knows where Santa Marta is in this country.
That's
you understand
the
me?
era you represent.
Exactly. So I have to fight for these things and let people understand the importance of having our children with proper education, especially in a place like that where they really need it. So all of these things, Sheki, when you look at these things, people could know that I'm working. And I stand with the work behind the work that I do because all the work that we do to a large extent, Sheki, is for the people of this country. When you look at what the opening and the expansion of Carmelita, man, you go back there 1 year and a half, Sheki, was flown bush. You go back there today, you'll be amazed the extent of work that has transpired, the amount of new poles that have been put up, new lights in that new expansion area. And you look at all that has happened, man, that's a true empowerment of our people, and the work never ceases because we are continuing to work to develop that area. You know, these are huge projects, I would say, not small, it's huge. Apart from that, Checky, when you look at, you know, the only thing we couldn't get to the right on the ball the way I would have wanted it was the police station in Carmelita. You know, a new spunking police station that will serve all the villages at the east. We never get a ferro concrete building. We are able to get this wooden building, but why? What is behind this story? Check it, we had $450,000, you know, from last year. But by the time we did the soil testing, etc., on the land right beside the community center, which if you had asked anybody in that village would have told you that are for the community. Yeah. And when we did everything, because nobody would have, even in the farthest reaches of their mind would believe that land would be private land. Lo and behold, when the final check was done through the ministry before funds and the contracts were signed, check it, we find out that the land is in private hands, in PUP hand, in a card name, right? You know, this is the reality of these things. The same card in terms of how can a family or somebody in the family takes a piece of land from the community, check it, and the councils, whether PUP or UDP, we have been cleaning that for decades.
So what do
you
people
understand
of Carmelita feel about that?
Well, I don't think they're happy about that, and definitely that is what postponed the building of the ferro concrete police station in Carmelita, and that took us right up to, I would say, early this year when we found another piece of land. Late last year, we found a piece of land, which was at that time they called it the Nature Park in Carmelita. I don't know. And we went there, we did soil testing, etc. All of these things have to be done first before government signs off on anything. At the end of the day, when the contracts were drafted and ready to sign, we had COVID came in early this year. And what did government do? Everything that was government-funded projects, government held back on these things. And so we lose the $450,000. And at the end of the day, I had to fight hard for us to at least get this temporary building where we will have the services of the police. Because the most important thing is not the building any which way. It is about the service that police officers, that police can give the services to the community. And to me, that is the most important thing. So I never want to see this year pass and we don't have that for the village, because it is needed, Checky. Carmelita is the fastest growing village I could talk about. And moreover, we have 4 other communities in the area that need that response, quicker response by the police. And so we got this building, put it down there. This is not the what we're going to call the final end of the police station. But nevertheless, this will begin to serve the people of the East, especially the villages. And so we are putting that down. They are refurbishing it yet in terms of getting it up to the standard and doing the partitions and properly the way the police department wants it. Because they have to ensure that it conforms with what the police wants. And then the services will start. But Checky, at least it is a step that we have made. And this, Checky, has been delayed, and this is the result because of the PUP. And people must understand these things, you know. And it's sad, you know, and every day I hear people say, oh, the PUP said I give it back. They don't have no intention, because we have been asking them, if you're not ready or interested, you could go to lands and sign one declaration or do something. They'll sign some forms saying you're going to give back the land to the community. They have not done that as yet. And to me, that is a shame, because where the community center lies in Carmelita, there's no more land available to the community. And that community will grow, Checky. But it is sad to know that that land is in private hands, man. That should have never been the case. But, you know, the PUP only then could speak on what they have done there. And to me, I just call it corruption at the highest level, in terms of when you deprive your community of land. That is, to me, you could go get land elsewhere, you know, you will not affect as much, but you taking prime community land, man, you're depriving the people, your entire community. And then I got no shame, you know, then the same ones out there campaigning, you know, campaigning for the PUP. But anyway, check it, I guess such is life. But what I'm trying to say overall is the tremendous work that we have done in the East, check it.
Talking about tremendous work, you have been working from prior to the 2015 election. I know you have worked on the Champagne Ridge computer room. You have been working on the roads to Santa Marta. You have been working on the different bleachers. What are some of a couple of the major projects that you will say regrettable that you didn't have chance to?
Well, one of the ones that I really wanted to see done, Checky, was the what I call, we have a I have a registered, how would I put it? We have a registered entity that is called the Community Outreach Program. This is something that we have teamed up with Ms. Lupe Ak and others, where we have a lot of people come in throughout the year from abroad, doctors, nurses, people who come down and render assistance and works closely with the health department to reaching out with people, especially in our villages, in terms of giving medical attention and services to the needy. Yeah.
Hello, good morning, Sugar City Morning Show.
Morning, Cheke. Morning, Minister Aragon.
Yeah, good morning. Morning, sir.
I hear you say that the piece of land designated for the police station fell into private hands. That is nice to know. But above that, perhaps you can share with us who was the Minister of Land at the time, because only the Minister of Land could give out land. So if he's supposed to know where to go, so could you share with us who was the Minister of Land at that time?
Right. Well, as far as I know, the Minister of Lands at that time, this was just before the PUP last, and I think at that time, who was the minister was what, Johnny Briseño? I'm not sure. Correct me if I wrong, Checky, but I mean, from what we have seen, that is the situation. My thing is this, is that to me, no matter when they give this out, to me, the important thing or the thing to note is that, man, this was land designated for the community. You not touch these kinds of things, because these things are for you. Once you give out the land like that, you will never get it back. Not for the community. You understand me, Checky?
Yeah.
And it is needed right now. Anybody goes in Carmelita could tell you that the land right beside the community center, man, that is needed for many events. I mean, it is a purpose land for the community. How you take that? Who have the how would I put it to you? The audacity, the brazenness for say, you know what, make I deprive this community of this land, And that is a given fact that I'm telling you, Checky, that is in private hands. This is no politics, and that this is the reality of things,
So
and it's sad.
You were saying that what you wanted to do, you never really get the time.
Yes, and like I said, Checky, and it is like I said, we have this community outreach program registered and everything. We have helped throughout these 5 years. We have had clinics all over the villages and even in town, and not only in the east, but elsewhere. Tremendous work, and I must big up Lupe Ak for all the work she have done with others. There. Always there. And our goal was to see this community outreach program basically being housed in what we would call the polyclinic of Orange Walk East. And why, to me, that was very important, and it still is, Checky, and I still want to accomplish that in this next go-round, is the fact that that will serve our community in terms of assisting them with the medical attention that they need. And this was a goal of ours to see. It did not happen. COVID, sadly, COVID came in, and all the funding that was there, the little fundings that we had for projects, and that was one of them, did not become a reality. But it is something important, Checky, because why? I want to see a clinic where our people can go for the basic, removal of stitching, putting stitches, simple things that will alleviate the amount of people who have to go to the Northern Regional. Man, there's a lot of things where people have to go for simple dressing, simple injections, simple stitches or removal of stitches. You know the amount of people go for simple things and have to wait at that hospital because there's so many people there.
Yeah.
This would help in terms of that entire, and the entire East would be able to have a first go at these places, and then for the major things, then of course they'll have to go to the Northern Regional. But I think it would be a great thing for our community, and we will get to that, Checky. Without a doubt, we will get to that. I'm confident. And of course, there are other things that, you require the money. Things that we could have achieved by being able to group and partner with people and come together and entities. We have done that. Sandyfield is a tremendous example of the kind of work that we could do. I can't just sit back and say, well, government don't got money right now, so nothing will happen. No, it's the ability to organize and to have people have that confidence in you to say that this is our plan, and being able to get these people to buy in. And like I said, Sandyfield is a perfect example of that. We had BL come in. We had the Taiwanese government came in. No big money, We had the BNE, again, no big money. But it is being able to pull them together. Our community, our East Community Committee that was there. I mean, and the sports committee that came out to assist, everything that came about, and we were able to get people to help us in terms of the people who build these things and stuff, to come out there and basically give a hand. And that is the way we achieve these things. So there's a lot that we can do. Even when you say, well, government don't involve fully, there's a lot more that we can do to get that support in terms of getting these things up.
Talking about that, we spoke about the land that was designated for the police station, but that is gone. How, when it comes to concerns of persons in the East, when it comes to lands?
Well, that is another thing, of course, and Checky, and I've always been straight with people, everything takes time. I mean, that new development we did in Carmelita, we see a number of lots came out of there, but those lots had to go to the people of Carmelita. They had to go there first because those are the people who are within that community. It's their expansion, But of course, we have what I call a phase 2, which is looking at the expanse of land or the availability of land for the people of Orange Walk East. That is in the plan. And definitely I want to see that happen. You know why, Checky? Because every household you go to in this town, their priority has to do with land. Has to do with land. Why? And I think it's for the last 30 years, people don't get no land in this division in the East, Because
and it's expanding, right?
Yes, and the east side of town cannot expand nowhere. Everywhere you go is private property. And you go so that the river, you go so that the different people own it. Mm-hmm. So we have to come up with a plan, and that plan has to be some kind of colonial setup where we are colony-like, where we send designate a certain area, put in infrastructure, and have people come in and get and build and live there. This is phase 2. And definitely it can't be one small project in terms of we talking about 100 lots or something like that. It has to be far more than that because of the demand, because of the necessity of the people of Orange Walk East. But listen to me. If we could have done what we have done in Carmelita, I mean, I say how we cannot do in terms of ensuring that the people of Orange Walk don't get their lot. And we are going to do that, and that will come in the next term. Of course there is space. There is space for those things, Checky. And we will work on that. When there's a will, Checky, there is a way. And definitely that is one of my highest priorities come next term, because I know it is important for our people. But Checky, like I always tell people, if anybody could get that done, it is me. Because I've shown the capacity, the capability to be able to get these things off the ground and to make it a reality.
Saying that, how tough is it, you as a junior minister, to lobby in cabinet along with your colleagues and to let them see, hey, this is what the area rep for Orange Walk East is bringing up. It's important for the people. How tough is it to like?
Well, as a minister of state, you have your challenges. Make we be real. You're a minister of state. You're not a minister, so you can't yield no kind of power, kind of things like where people would want to assume, because you're a minister of state. And we have seen that in all the ministries out there who have junior ministers. That is the truth. But that has not held me back to speak out in cabinet, has not held me back to bring about my ideas and to try to lobby and find and be a real pusher and fighter for the people of Orange Walk East. That has not desist me any at all, Checky. And that is why we have seen great, tremendous work coming to the East right now, because we have been able to stand up and push for these projects and fight and lobby, and be able to do things that will affect, at the end of the day, a result that is beneficial to the people of the East and, of course, to this country. And I not said anything not come without challenges. They do, Checky. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that we have done well, but there's a lot more that we can do. And I'm hoping that this next term, Checky, in terms of after this election, because I am truly convinced that the people of Orange Walk has the confidence in me to get the work done, and we will continue to do so. But I will tell you this next 5 years will not be the same, because I don't see how I will still be a minister of state in this government of mine, especially under the United Democratic Party. We will ensure, and I could tell you this right here, we have to be a full-fledged minister so that we have the ministry, whichever ministry, to support what we are doing. And I think that will come about, and once that comes about, greater things can happen. But Checky, I will tell you, there's a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done, and will always be there. I will tell you this, not a day you step out to any place, any village you go visit, any part of town, there's work that needs to be done. Every day there's work that has to be done. And I think these works have to be well planned to ensure that we could have the proper impact, like even if it's an expanse of water for people, like the one that we did in the Pasadena area. Simple work that we did in laying down was over nearly $200,000 investment, on the ground for that water expansion. So these things cost money, and it's about being able to harness that support to get these projects done. And I think I have that strength, I have that capacity to get these things organized and to make them a reality. We have done so in the past, and I see that the future, definitely, I want to accomplish a lot more for the people of the East, because everything I do, Checky, is for the people and this country first. It comes first over my party, it comes first over anything that is personal or otherwise. Why? Because at the end of the day, that is all we have as a people, our country and our people. Man, as a representative, as a minister, that's supposed to always be at the highest priority of things, Checky. And that is who I am, that is what I stand for, and that is what I continue to strive on a day-to-day basis, to ensure that not only the vision that has put me there, but also that whatever we do is in the best interest of our people and our country. And I think I've done a good job, and I know that there's a lot more work to be done, and I'm ready to get that underway, because my commitment is honest, my commitment is true, my commitment is there for the people of Orange Walk East.
Well, Minister, we'll be taking a break. The time is 2 minutes away from 8. We say good morning to everyone listening on the East Radio right here in Orange Walk, and in Belize City as well. We say good morning to you all, and everyone viewing us on North Television Channel 10. We'll be back with Minister Aragon right here after these messages on North Television Channel 10.
Durante el gobierno del UDP, más de 10,000 personas pudieron ser dueños de sus propias casas por medio del programa de cancelación de hipotecas. Bajo el PUP, el DFC estaba en bancarrota. Pero hoy el DFC es una institución robusta y exitosa. El Partido Unido Democrático, UDP, es orgulloso de haber tomado las medidas y obtenido los resultados que benefician a todos los beliceños. Vote UDP porque su futuro es lo más importante.
Meet Johnny. Johnny paid $4,000 to dig a drain around his house. Johnny then sold his house and all its contents for $3,000. Johnny is a fool. Don't be Johnny. The PUP spent $44 million of public funds to dredge out the Port of Belize. The PUP then sold the Port of Belize and all its assets for $40 million to Lucas Pat. Luke defaulted on his loans to Belize Bank. Now Michael Ashcroft owns the port. The PUP, do you trust them with your future? Vote UDP because your future matters.
When you think about compassion, care and kindness, the area representative of Orange Walk East, Honorable Elodia Aragon Jr., immediately comes to mind. He has demonstrated through dedication and hard work that the people he represents are his priority. His work in Orange Walk East to deliver goods and services has been never-ending. Infrastructure, streets, water, land, social assistance, sports, and education are areas in which Mr. Aragon has focused and delivered to his people in the Orange Walk East. Honorable Aragon has lived a life of dedicated service to his country and people with an excellent track record. Orange Walk East deserves the best. So, for continued development, vote for Honorable Elodia Aragon Jr.
Largo Cruz, Orange Walk East. Mr. Aragón, él es una persona muy amable y cuando él promete algo, él lo cumple. Y yo soy UDP desde que yo nací y sigo siendo UDP y soy orgulloso de Mr. Aragón. No cometo ningún fallo. Mr. Aragón, el 11 de noviembre, 100%.
Aragon, we talking about who?
Development comes through vision, dedication, and hard work. These qualities possessed by Honorable Elodie Aragon are in full display as he embarked in a project to open new streets in Carmelita Village. This will allow access to new landowners to their own little piece of the jewel. Honorable Elodie Aragon Jr. and the government of Belize, leadership that works.
Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon.
Carolina's Carmelita Village. We have a library, well fitted. We have bleachers on the Carmelita field. We have light. We have expansion of the village when it comes to village lot. The Sandpit Road has been retrofitted and many other stuff like people get help with their pantry, they get help with their land. Minister Aragon is someone who cares, he understands, he always takes time out to visit you and discuss with you whatever situation you find yourself in. November 11, 2020, I will be red, Aragon Jr., son of the East.
Aragon, we talking about who?
We have made unprecedented investments in developing the backbone infrastructure of our nation, which has positively impacted every community in this country, with new roads, sporting complexes, water and waste management systems, hospitals, schools, electricity, and internet connectivity. These investments have contributed greatly to the movement of people, goods, and services, and has bolstered our economic growth while setting the stage for a new era of Belizean prosperity in the upcoming decade.
Since 2014, Honorable Elodie Aragon has been quietly and consistently assisting deserving residents of Orange Walk East through a pantry program that he put together using personal resources and also with the support of generous business persons. It started with the distribution of 100 packages per month and has now doubled to 200 packages per month. The packages comprise of rice, beans, flour, and sugar, which are staples in any household and a great help to the recipients. During the state of emergency in the month of April, Honorable Aragon also prepared and delivered 3,000 food hampers to residents of Orange Walk East. In the first instance, 1,500 parcels were delivered, followed by 1,500 more 2 weeks later. This was done because Mr. Aragon was aware of the hardships some of their residents were going through due to the COVID curfew. This is a man who cares. Honorable Elodie Aragon Jr., with you always.
Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon.
Yo soy Samira, soy de Santa Marta. He visto un montón de cambios que ha hecho Mr. Aragon. Para estas elecciones yo voy a votar para Mr. Elodie Aragon, que ha hecho un montón de cambios en esta aldea y en las demás aldeas. Yo apoyo a Mr. Aragon, que ha compuesto las calles, el centro comunal, la luz, el agua y el preschool que está en camino para hacerlo también. En estas elecciones yo voto para Mr. Elodie Aragon.
Aragon, we talking about who? On election day, let's make the right choice. Re-elect Elodie Aragon Jr. With you always, leadership that works. Representing Orange Walk East, because our future matters. Not even a question, who may voting be? You already know we voting for the UDP, cause they are the best one in the driver's seat. So go and put your X right there, so for the son of the East. Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon. Aragon, we talking about who? Aragon, the number one, we talking about who? Aragon, one and only son out there of the east, yeah.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. It's 6 minutes after 8. Good morning to all the radio listeners of the East Radio 104.9 here in Orange Walk and extension to Free City. And wherever you are listening to us and to North Television Channel 10. Minister, you have been through some high challenges when it comes within your party as well, no? But that's I see that you hold that focus of leadership, because I remember when the leadership convention was coming up, that you were on one side and they have some big, strong ministers on the other side, including the former leader of the party as well. With the ICJ, you were one way, and then the convention was held on February 9th, where Honorable John Saldiva won. You still stand firm with Honorable Patrick Farber. You went back into the convention again. Patrick won. How has that affected you for being so bold to make sure, hey, this is the way I go in, this is the way I say this thing, and I stand firm?
Well, Chicky, I think it's leadership.
I'm not bash you too,
No, but I think I think leadership is not easy, especially when you have conviction and you stand for what you feel is right. I always come with challenges, and I will tell you this. Since I've been into politics, I've had a lot of challenges, and I've been able to stand my ground. And I think, come easy sometimes, in the little political life that I've had in the last 5 years, man. Things that I've gone through, people don't know. I have stories to tell and things to say, but it's been really, really tough in terms of, but we're rewarding at the same time, Maybe
Yes.
we go.
Hello, good morning, Sugar City Morning Show.
Good morning.
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 Buenos días, Aragón.
Yes, sir. Morning.
No se preocupe, Aragón, aquí me dice usted va a ganar. Usted hizo mucho, Aragón. Y yo sé que usted va a seguir haciendo mucho, señor.
Gracias, jefe.
Solo eso, Aragón.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Gracias. And Chicky, thanks, Carla, for those words of encouragement. I will tell you, one of the things I could tell the people of Orange Walk East and this country, and people know me across this country because I was a police officer, and they know where I stand. I stand for what is always right, and I'm always there to try to assist people, And I will tell you that throughout the small political life that I've had in the last 5 years, I've gone through a lot of stuff, both locally and nationally. And I will tell you, when you look, for instance, people could rest assured that with me, I will always be there for this country and our people. Always. That is always number one for me, because what else is there? You understand me? Except for make we champion the cause of our people. And I think all our leaders need to be able to do those things. And I will tell you that, and people can know that what I do in terms of my convictions and what I truly believe is right. For instance, when you had the ICJ. When we had the ICJ, a lot of people, they're not sure what to do. Well, man, I thought it good. I made sure I read up on the literature, understand this thing, and I said, you know what? We need to end this now. This is the generation that has to end this situation and put this to rest and start that process for us to end the unfounded Guatemalan claim once and for all. A lot of ministers, a lot of representatives, both on the PUP and UDP side, they're not too sure where they want to go. Well, I made up my mind, and I stood with that from early. Let people know where I stood in terms of my belief, and etc. And at the day we went and we had the referendum, and majority of the Belizeans start the same way.
Yeah.
And we were able to have that victory in terms of this going to the ICJ. And I stood my ground. I don't know, like other ministers who have to wait, or representatives that have to wait for the leader for said this or that, right? Because Johnny, you look on the PUP, they say yes, maybe, and no, they're going to no. And everybody have to wait, because then they follow. I don't follow in terms of these things. When it comes to our countrymen, we have to be able to voice our opinion
but
and
the
to stand
ICJ
our
thing
ground.
was it something that to be playing around with politics?
No, we
back,
can't.
right?
You can't. Could not. And that these are the kind of things where my leadership stands out, because I'm not afraid to voice my opinion. I'm not afraid to stand for what I believe is right. And apart from that, throughout my time, we had the one with the convention in terms of Patrick Farber.
Right. You stand firm from the beginning,
I
right?
stood firm with Patrick Farber when there was nobody else standing with him except me and I think Minister Heredia.
Yep. I saw you all on that picture. I said,
That's
"Man,
it,
this is our three-man show."
And this is a couple of years ago when he first ran for Deputy Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I stood with Patrick Farber from day one. And I took a lot of lick for that, And apart from that, at that time, my good friend Jan Saldivar was the then Minister of Police,
Defense, huh?
which I was then the Minister of State. And who catch me, but any day, I've stood my ground because I've truly believed in certain things. And I always want to put our best foot forward in terms of what will be in the best interest of our people and country. And I truly believe that Patrick Farber was and is that person. And that is why I stood with him. And we went, and after that, we had that tremendous victory. I remember going from north to south with him and talking to people and encouraging people. And we were able to win that division. And after that, of course, that carried on until we had the last convention. Yeah. Again, I have been with him, stood with him no matter what transpired. Been there. And we gone through. He was defeated at the polls in terms of the convention for leadership. I stood with him then, still, and then we were able to come back and after that situation, and he has since won and is now the party leader and preparing to become the new Prime Minister of this country. And I've been with him through that.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Yes. I just want to start this morning by saying that the UDP will win and it will form the government. In 1998, the PUP took over the government of Belize and ruled it for 10 years, up to 2008. I want the people of Belize to understand that during these 10 years, the PUP leaders raped the country of Belize and stole millions of dollars which they stuck in foreign banks. People might say, man, I don't know if that's true. Well, I am telling them, if they doubt, especially the PUP, if they doubt it, they should ask Johnny if this is not true. He himself cried out, bring back the millions you stole. Bring it to the PUP party which needs it badly. Not even for the country, Even the fight, the old ministers, the old people that he had with him, fighting them because he wanted the money to be brought back, not for the country, I believe, but for the PUP party. It is the same thief who stole from the Belizean people that they want to get back into government. They have been, for 2-3 terms, they have been put out of government because the entire nation knew what kind of thieves they were. Now these thieves are saying, vote PUP, man, for everyone to win. Vote PUP for everyone to win. Everyone, my dear people, we must understand that everyone only means the same PUP leaders who again will want to steal the millions from the people and country of Belize. Well, the good thing here is that the UDP will win the elections. That is the beauty and that is the good thing. It is the UDP that will win and it will keep out all those thieves who want to get back to do the same thing. Anybody doubt me? Ask Johnny Besenio. He is the same one who accused all those people running with him of being thieves and of having to go to jail for what they had done. And now we put there and they tell them, they run for the people and they come up like saints that they want to help the Belizean people. They want to help themselves. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Minister, there were some rumors going around. Solita can say that most of your colleagues were not in favor of the employment coming to Orange Walk with the factory there in Carmelita. And you stood firm in what you believed in.
Yeah, well, I've always stood, and I wouldn't say majority. I said they were majority. I think supported that idea, but like I said, everything we do comes with challenges, and I definitely think that I have been able to, as a leader, young leader, been able to carry on, to negotiate in terms of maneuver well through all of these things, and there's a lot that I could talk about, but it don't make no sense for me to discuss these things.
Have you been punished for that?
Well, I didn't go in there. But my thing is this, is that my leadership stands out, Checky. I mean, definitely because I've always have to put our people first. That's to me always, I think. And like my old lady used to say, you do right, you can't do wrong. And when you look at the fact that right now, in this election right now coming up, the first notion, well, the election they come, we have to put a lot of banners, we have to do this, we have to do that, put flags all over the place.
Get people in the mood.
And yes, of course, because it's a politics, just like with the nomination, everybody want to do thing, but we have to, as a leader, have to look at things not only in the aspect of narrowly, but I have to look at it widely in terms of how that will impact our community and all of these things. And I will tell you, in terms of our billboards and stuff, even for my own party, they tell me, Aragon, Orange Walk look weak. You're passed wrong there, and that lone PUP flags you say, Pambelize Road and this and that. And I have to stem that. I have to tell them, listen to me. For me, I mean, this is our COVID year. This has not been an ordinary year. This is not an ordinary election year we're going to have. Even right now, you are looking at how people will go and vote in terms of certain protocols we have to follow. The restrictions that we have in place where you can't have gathering more than 10. Everything dictates that this will not be a normal election. We have had a COVID situation in terms we have so many people infected, people have died, man. Cannot be the same as usual. And from early this year, when I looked at things, and you see the hardship that you meet out there when you talk to people, you communicate with people, and you find out the difficulties, because there are difficulties. Make ghosts no fool way. If we have the issues at the national level, how we not have it at the local level? It is there. And we have to be conscious. We have to be leaders who are conscious of these things. And when I see these things, man, I tell myself, how can I justify checking? And I tell this to Cabinet too, and tell this to everybody. How will I justify being able to put up flags, which they cost me $10 a flag per each lamppost, and you add up how much flags you put. Plus, you look at they do these big billboards where cost money, man. If you look at your budget when you are spent on those things, that's a goodly amount of money. Man, take the money. I prefer to take that money right now, Checky, and know that I'm helping people on the ground. Maybe they're not getting a whole heap of money, but they are getting something to assist them during this time. To me, that is more important at this point in time. And if I don't have the confidence in the people of the East to support me in this election, then what is it worth for me to continue fighting for them? I want to fight for people that I truly believe believes in me. And that is the confidence I have. And I say, me not spend money on that, but I will try my best to use that for the greater good of our community. Because we have to have them in mind during this period of COVID, Checky. And I think the government has done a wonderful job when you look at the unemployment relief, when you look at the pantry program that they have done.
Yeah, a lot
when
of
you
people
look at
receive right
a
now.
lot of stuff. Yes, government has really reached out to assist these people. But there's a lot of people who slip through the cracks, who never apply for the unemployment relief, whenever got social security or their last and document. Watch out, you look at all the scenarios whenever know about where they happen. People when don't know about computers in terms of apply online. Whole heap of scenarios why they not get into the programs. And since the COVID started, Checky, I have always been there, at least assisting with pantry. This is where the money goes, where we'll find the money and put it there instead of I worry about put one flag or put my picture on banners and putting it out there. Then they can't vote for me, It is the people that can support me.
People have to eat.
Right, that's right.
Hello, good morning.
Sí, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Yes, buenos días.
Elodio Aragon all the way.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my
UDP
brother.
all the way.
All right.
Solo quiero decir que la gente de Santa Marta está viniendo rojo, rojo, rojo y van a votar para UDP. Kevin no tiene nada para ganar allá. La gente de Carmelita ya se decidió. Viene rojo esta vez, una ola que está, mira, más alto que el tsunami. Así que el UDP va a ganar porque el odio Aragón hace la diferencia. Hombre a hombre, Aragón es el mejor hombre para llevar a nosotros a la Casa de Representantes. El UDP es y será La única alternativa para Belice es el gobierno que va a traer la transformación y va a continuar el desarrollo. Así que, gente, salgan a votar temprano y pongan su X en el rojo, porque eso es patriotismo. Esta selección es de patriotismo. Si queremos llevar adelante, nosotros tenemos que votar para UDP. Así que, señores y señores, el rojo está en marcha. Buenos días.
Yeah,
Some
gracias.
hype, man.
Yes, man. Man, hype up, man, hype up.
Man, ready?
But definitely we have to, Chakika. This elections is very important, and I think the people of this country wants to see good leadership and good stewardship, and I think that is the only option for that is the United Democratic Party, and like I said, Chaki, so when you look at leadership, it is important. That is why I've always looked to see who is the best leader for this party, and that is why I've always sided with Patrick Faber, no matter what. And when you look at things, Sheki, across the things that I've done, everything that we have fought for in the East has been in what will improve our communities, and it's all about our people. And that is why even this election, when I tell you about them billboards, we own UDP, come and say, Aragon, where they going? You put flag, we need this, we need that. Man, I understand those things, but listen to me. I know, how do I have a conscience if I know I have a conscience if I could go sleep and not worry about certain things. If I go visit people and I see this situation with people in, man, that disturbs me. You understand me? For know that I could go home and rest up, and then I have people out there in my mind have it really terrible, And if I could take and lend one hand to them, man, I will. And for me to be able to do even more, then we have to put everything directed to the people, to people who need this help. And this is what I've done, Jackie. And I think at the end of the day, that is me. That is me. A lot of other politicians, a lot of other men got them flags all over the place. That's fine.
What would you
And
say
no
your
problem with
machinery? What would you say your machinery is looking like from now?
No, we
to the election day?
have always got a good machinery, and I think we are really up there in terms of our campaign strategy and thing. We have our people on the ground working. I have the confidence in them. I have the confidence in the people of Orange Walk East, because I think that at the end of the day, this nation, and I think the people, for the large majority, wants to see good leadership. And that is what I bring, Cheki. That is what I bring here in the East, and I bring that to the country likewise. I have what it takes to be able to deliver that kind of leadership. And one thing people could say about Aragon, in terms of my integrity, in terms of my drive and commitment to the people of Orange Walk East, man, that is second to none. And I could tell you that, Cheki, because that is who I am. And anybody who knows Aragon will tell you those things. And coming up to this election, Cheki, I have the full confidence in the people of the East. Because why? They know me. They have a connection to me one way or the other, because I live, born, and grow up in the East. This is my home, and I want the best. These are the people I have to walk out of my house and say and hail and talk to. They're not like I not living in my division. I'm the son of the East. I am there. People know me, and they know the work that I stand. Maybe I not see them every day, maybe I not get to see them for the longest. But one thing people can rest assured, that Aragon is championing the cause of the East. I am bringing the kind of development. I am fighting for the kind of projects and programs that will move the East forward. And they will always rely on me, that I will have the best interests of our country and our people nationally in terms of whatever decision making that has to be made. And to me, that is important. And I think that if the more leaders we have that are not afraid to speak, are not afraid to voice their opinion, are not afraid to go that extra mile no matter what for the people of this country, man, we will have a better nation. As a young leader, I feel that I still have a lot more to contribute. I want to contribute, especially because I want the Orange Walk East Division, man, to go to even greater heights, Jackie. We just start this ball rolling, this thing just they kick into place. We want to take it to the next level, and it will happen. I have the full confidence of the people in Orange Walk East, and I ask you for your support come the 11th of November. And together, Checky, we will achieve these things, because, man, one thing I want to be able to do that are still young and I still got that energy and strength to be here as a leader in my community. I want to see that the Orange Walk East Division move, man, to greater heights, because I'll tell you, for the last 30 years, we take one lick. We have suffered in terms that we have not moved as best as we wanted to, as best as we deserve as a community, But definitely right now the ball is moving, and we will continue to move that forward, Checky. So, with that, I want to tell you, it's always a pleasure when I have the opportunity to reach out to people via the media and talk to them in things like this. Because, Checky, I could sit there, me and you, and I could tell you a lot of things that has differentiated me from many other leaders, and I think that is why I'm here. This is why I've gotten into politics, because I truly believe we can make that difference for the people of this country.
People want to elect a representative with a government in power. What are we looking at nationally with the United Democratic Party? We have new leadership. We have lots of new candidates coming up. How is it looking nationally?
I think nationally we look good. I think nationally we are looking good, and we are growing from strength to strength every day, Chicken. I think the PUP is losing a lot of grounds. If not there, I think they have already lost the battle. And I say this why? Not because of just politics. It is because the confidence that the people have in terms of the party, the United Democratic Party. And why I say this, Checky, because that confidence in the UDP compared to that of the PUP and the Gianni Briseño, we can't compare.
Let me get
You
this
understand?
Minister, this personal. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Checky and Mr. Aragon. This is Mr. Patton.
Yes, morning, sir.
Yes, Mr. Aragon, I'm very proud of you. You're doing a wonderful job for the East. You already start dealing with the priority of the East, and what the East really need is the employment. Now, you are the first person that ever considered that in our area here in the North. That is very good. We already know that the majority of voters are poor people, so that's a priority. That's great. Now, agriculture. I saw that was one of your priority too. As long as we people eat good and things like that, you will always be a winner, Mr. Aragon. Very good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
That's when you talk about the leadership, right?
Yeah. And we have to look at this, and that is why my whole drive in terms of leadership is pivoted on empowerment. And these are words maybe some people take anything lightly. I don't. I take it seriously. When you talk about empowerment, man, it's about employment. It's about jobs. It's about education. It's about quality of life. These are the kind of things that builds our community. Just like you have infrastructure that sets the path to development of a country, empowerment is what sets the path for the development and the upliftment of our people, Checky. And these are the kind of pillars that I focus on, because it is important for our community. It is important for our country. And this is what I live for, and this is a sacrifice I make with my own family, because, sometimes you have to sacrifice something so you can focus on the other.
Yeah.
And sadly, it is my family that has suffered a lot in terms of my wife and kids and stuff. But this is the price we pay so that we can do what is right for our country. And definitely I make it up to them down the road, for the God willing and everything. But at the end of the day, somebody has to do this thing. Somebody has to champion the cause of our people, Checky. And this is what it's all about for me. And that is why, I am not afraid to stand against anybody in terms of what is right,
Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Good
Is this Arthur?
Yes.
Okay, morning. Well, I just wanted to put my little 5 cents into this, right?
Yes, go ahead.
I am from Palmar.
Okay.
And the development that we've been seeing in Palmar is like never before. I can't even describe it. We're getting the road fixed, expansion of life, education assistance. I mean, you name it, Mr. Aragon has been there. And another thing about the pantry, the other one they're speaking about 2 pound rice and 2 pound flour. Let me tell you something. When it's Chihuahua, which first gas not happen, we don't even want to eat rice, beans, and have flour. We eat grass and sun. That's what we eat, like cow. Okay? So, me, on November 11th, will vote for Mr. Elodio Aragon Jr. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Carla.
Seems like we have a next call coming in to Minister. But talking about that, a lot of people have the... Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Minister Aragon.
Yes, morning.
Yes. You know, Shane, that after 5 years, you promised state-of-the-art building to Carmelita, you want to put a boathouse.
This must be a POP, the call right now, Checky. But I can tell you something. You need one, I explained something just now where we talked about the police station. It is a PUP who stole the land from the community. And these are the same people, Checky, where they out there campaign for the PUP, where they walk with Kevin Bernard out there. This is a sad reality, right? People who have stolen the land from the community, Checky, have no shame but to be out there campaigning for the PUP. I think everybody in a Carmelita is supposed to run them people when they come along because they have stolen prime land from the community. I mean, how the audacity of these things. You understand me? And they have deprived the community of a ferro-concrete building. They not, I said right? Delayed that process because we will get that.
Yeah, you explained
I
well
foresee
that,
how this thing of course, but this is the kind of PUP where I call in and talk this thing because all they do is being there for the PUP in terms of swallow the lies and these things. I tell you, because the very same people who have stolen this land from the communities out there campaigning, man, they don't got no shame. I had a shame for work with them people. You understand me? But my thing is this, and I've explained it exactly why we did not get the ferro-concrete building. I know they are for lie. I need for lie to anybody in regards to what is the situation. That is the situation. We had the money in hand. COVID came, and that project being a local government-sponsored project was held back. And that is why we couldn't move. But that never stopped us from move and get this building, which is not too small, a 20 by 40 building, enough to be able to render the police services to the community of Carmelita and that of the other villages. So we still get the services. It is just that we don't get it in the kind of style we may want in terms of the ferro-concrete building, etc. But, the PUP has a lot to blame in that. And I throw it squarely on their lap because this is from last year. And every time they say, oh, I give back the land, up to now they cannot go into lands and hand over this land. You understand me? And that, despite that, we have already made the move there. We are not going to go back to the community. But nevertheless, that land is important for the community because that is where the community center lies.
Right. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Ravan, this is me again. We are know about too that the medical clinic in Louisiana, that's one of the next projects there where the COVID come and slow down the process, and I'm sure that you will be working on that project too. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, man, definitely. You said the polyclinic is important. We discussed that. That is one of the things that we never accomplished, but that we'll make that happen. That right. That in the crosshairs. We have to get that because that is important. And I tell you, there's a lot of other things where other communities will say, well, it is important for us, for instance, we need the highway paved, the road paved, like the Champan Ridge, Santa Marta, we'll ask about that, and other areas. Man, everything needs to be done, yes, but everything comes with there's the ability to do in terms of these roads cost money. They're not leave it a money where you talk about 100,000, 150,000. You are talking about what? In the hundreds of thousands. So some of these things it can only come through the lobbying efforts in terms in being in cabinet where you lobby for these fundings to come, right?
Yeah, it's not an overnight dream.
They're not overnight thing, but that's something that we are working on because when you look in the east, Checky, there's only 3 areas that need to be paved. The road to Santa Marta to connect to the road that Castro has paved, and the road to Champan Ridge that needs to be done. And of course, I think not only for Tower Hill, but for the entire Orange Walk Kenyans who go to Shipyard. We need to pave that road right up to Guinea Grass, So there's a lot of things that has to be done. The Rome was not built in a day, but definitely, man, you look at what needs to be done or what some of the little projects we did not achieve compared to what we have achieved, check it, you could see that we are working. And that is the important thing, because there's many who have been there for the last 30 years and did nothing, and that is why I say that, because I know of what has transpired in our division. Man, I feel good about it, and I know that in the next year or so, Checky, you will see how all of these things benefit our people, from the jobs, from the buildings, the school buildings that are being built right now, the new high school in in Carmelita that will become a reality. You know, all of these things will happen. I hear the PUP, the out there, they say lies that, happen. These things will happen because government cannot stop these projects from happening, because these are not government funded, but rather funding that have come from abroad specifically for these things.
Hello, good morning.
Were you going to ask me?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, and because no one know what happened to one, because you want to watch out for your own pain.
Why? Take it easy. Take it easy. Minister, take one break.
Yeah, man, sure.
Take one break, folks. We are here, North Television Channel 10. It's 24 minutes now away from 9 o'clock. Minister Aragon and Robert Chake Usher will be back after these messages right here on North Television Channel 10.
When you think about compassion, care and kindness, the area representative of Orange Walk East, Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr., immediately comes to mind. He has demonstrated through dedication and hard work that the people he represents are his priority. His work in Orange Walk East to deliver goods and services has been never-ending. Infrastructure, streets, water, land, social assistance, sports, and education are areas in which Mr. Aragon has focused and delivered to his people in the Orange Walk East. Honorable Aragon has lived a life of dedicated service to his country and people with an excellent track record. Orange Walk East deserves the best. So, for continued development, vote for Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr.
Largo Cruz, Orange Walk East. Mr. Aragón, él es una persona muy amable y cuando él promete algo, él lo cumple. Y yo soy UDP desde que yo nací y sigo siendo UDP y soy orgulloso de Mr. Aragón. No cometo ningún fallo. Mr. Aragón, el 11 de noviembre, 100%.
Aragon, we talking about who?
Development comes through vision, dedication, and hard work. These qualities possessed by Honorable Elodio Aragon are in full display as he embarked in a project to open new streets in Carmelita Village. This will allow access to new landowners to their own little piece of the jewel. Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr. and the government of Belize, leadership that works.
Let's take a look at the PUP DNA. Julius Espat, representative for Cayo South, was sold the Chief Justice residence by a PUP government for a mere pittance and turned around and flipped it for over $1 million. Cousin Luke Espat got a sweetheart pass from the then PUP government when they sold him the country's most valuable asset in the Port of Belize, and he allowed Ashcroft to take it over. Now cousin Mike Espat, representative for Toledo East, brought the VOA compound in PG with a DFC loan, which was later written off. He sold it for millions. Corruption is in the PUP DNA. This is the same old PUP.
Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon.
My name is Janet Roberts and I'm from Tower Hill. He has lighted up our field that for years we didn't have any lights, and he maintains the field. And recently he scraped the grass road because that was a huge problem for us. It has a lot of potholes, but now it is white mob. So we have a computer lab and a community center to do our social gathering. It was provided by our UDP government and Mr. Elodio Aragon. This 11th of November, I will vote for Mr. Elodio Aragon Jr.
Aragon, we talking about who?
Honorable Elodio Aragon remains steadfast in his commitment of delivering on his pledge to the people of Orange Walk East. As a result, Palmar Village is receiving much needed attention. The main street that passes through the village, which has been eroded due to rains and use over time, has been upgraded by your area representative and the government of Belize. Street works will be ongoing in the area. Honorable Elodio Aragon and the government of Belize. Leadership that works. Since 2015, Santa Marta villagers have seen development like never before. The road, which was always flooded and sometimes impassable, is now an all-weather road all year round. The streets within the village have been consistently maintained, and new streets have been opened. The Newland 12-mile road and bridge were rehabilitated. Electricity expansion was done in several new areas, and street lights were placed throughout the village. Water expansion was also done. As a result, all villagers now enjoy potable water in their house. The old water well had become unserviceable, so a new well has been dug, providing a more reliable source of water to Santa Marta villagers. Prior to 2015, there was no community center, so one was built. A football field was also built and equipped with LED stadium lights. Lots were made available to villagers and their land papers delivered to them. Educational assistance has been given to hundreds of students from the village for high school and sixth form. Every year, mothers are given a treat, and during Christmas, everyone enjoys the generosity of Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr. In times of disaster, Mr. Aragon has always been there for the people of Santa Marta. In good times and in bad times, Elodio Aragon Jr. with you always.
On election day, let's make the right choice. Re-elect Elodio Aragon Jr. With you always. Leadership that works. Representing Orange Walk East. Because our future matters. Not even a question who may vote in me. You already know we voting for the UDP. Cause they are the best one in the driver's seat. So go and put your X right there, so for the son of the East. Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon, Aragon. We talking about who? Aragon, Aragon. The number one, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon. One and only son out there of the East. Yeah, we voting for Aragon, equal repeat. Voting Aragon.
Welcome back to the Sugar City Morning Show. Minister Aragon and Robert Check Usher, 16 minutes away from 9. Minister, all the way back in 2006, there was the unions out there rallying, demonstrating, and 2006, Senaida Moya came in, Ravai Gonzalez came in, and the whole country went red for the municipalities, followed by 2008 when the government, the UDP won. Now people have the perception that once you win in Belize City, it's almost, you could say, okay, this party, the win because we win Belize City. Now we have the Prime Minister not running again. We have Finnegan not running, Sedek not running. We have a PUP City Council. Do you believe that will affect the election for the UDP?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, none at all. I think that the NID, town councils, village councils, separate ball game than when you look at general elections, you know.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Just lower your television, please, or your radio.
Yeah. Yes, sure. I just want to comment about this very important piece of land where the PUP is separate from Carmelita, from the Carmelita Village Council, or for the benefit of Carmelita for the police station. I believe that they should be ashamed. And besides that, I can think of a way out. Why don't the people of Carmelita or the committee write a petition letter and signed by the community, by the village people, stating they want this land returned. I mean, it is possible on a letter of petition. I don't see why the villagers are signing it for their benefit. I believe that's the way to go. Like the people get some shame and give it back. I mean, it's a shame to take land for the community to put in private hands. But most importantly, is the minister who tolerated that kind of activity. He should be ashamed too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. But you see, with that, Checky, if we take away, government go, NID take it way back in the public interest. But the NID, they have to compensate.
You have to pay them.
Have title. And I don't think we want to give his satisfaction in terms of that, you know.
Yeah. So going back to the Belicity perception, what we're looking at, you say that village councils and town councils and city councils election are different from national elections.
Yes, I would want to think so, you know. I think right now, when you look at national elections, you're looking at the, how would I put it, there are greater things at stake. And I think a lot of people tend to look at more of what, at the national level, in terms of what kind of leadership they want to see for the next 5 years, you know. And I think that makes a world of a difference, I think, in an election. And I definitely, from what I'm seeing and hearing in Belicity, I think Belicity will do well this general elections for the United Democratic Party, you know. So for me, I think we're very close to election. So what I said, no make a difference, because at the end of the day, the people will decide. And so I think we could wait up to the 11th of November and find out. But from all the indications that I'm getting, the United Democratic Party will do well in Belicity, you know.
So here at Champagne Ridge, we support Minister Aragon. We will vote UDP again. Yeah. Champagne Ridge.
It's good, man. Thanks.
Yeah. But Minister, this election, like you say, and all we know it's different. You say you know to put up signs, you know to put up flags, we don't say T-shirts and things like that. But
no, we haven't got T-shirts and things. What I'm saying is that we don't waste money in those billboards and all of these things on posts when we vote. Because if you pass through the tongue of Orange Rock, Checky, you live here. Every single post here have one POP flag.
But how do you change that perception from persons that say, what?
I think people are getting smarter and wiser. I don't know. For one, I feel that, especially during this COVID period, I feel people understand, you know, they in terms of, they understand a lot more things because of the hardship that they are facing. And I do think that them flag on a post don't mean nothing right now to people. You know, they might look good for the supporters and things like that, but what does it mean at the end of the day, Checky? It not bring nothing to you. What means and counts to the people is what they can get, what they can hold on to for a system to get by during this difficult period. And I think that is appreciated far greater than the flags that you are putting up on a post, you know. That is my personal opinion, and I truly believe that because, I mean, you see the conditions, you see what is happening out there. And definitely my leadership is all about the people, Checky, and I put the people of my division first. You know, and even like that, there's still a challenge because the amount of voters we have. I think on Channel 7 you had the discussion on how many the constituency with the smallest amount of voters, 1715.
Yeah.
I don't remember the numbers. Right here we have over 7,000 odd, man. I mean, then on Judah we have a tremendous, large area to cover. And definitely we can't cover everybody, but we are going to try as best as good. And everybody could tell you about this leadership in terms of my leadership in Orange Rock here in the East is that I've always been here for our people. In terms of educational assistance, I've helped a lot of people as much as I can, and I do my best not even to look at that colors because it is about developing our people. It's about empowering our young people with an education. To me, like I've always said, that is the best gift you could give as a parent to your child, that education. You get one background for standpoint. And so that is important and has always been important for me, Checky. So these are the kind of things that we have championed, you know. We even discuss all of that. I tell you, Checky, the amount of things we have done, man. You know, only when we discuss it, then you realize the amount of work we have done.
You get the meat of it.
You understand? But we've always been there, and I think that is why right now, going into this election, I think it is important for every citizen of this country to truly sit back and think in terms of where we want to go forward, how we are move forward, and with whom. Like I say, in my division, people know me, people have a connection with me, they have a connection with my brother, they have a connection with my family, my father, with friends, neighbors. People know me. There's no way I could go hide. I'm here for them. And they could always count that I'm championing their causes always. You know, that is a good thing. You can have that trust in me. And that is why I've never been afraid to speak out and things like that, you know, because, I mean, I am there for that. And so I think that at the end of the day, the people of Orange Walk East knows that I'm here for them. I born and grow in the Fowie area. We are working hard for them always. And like I say, yes, you know, might see me every day, but you could rest assured that they're there. And not that far, you could contact me, we could find each other, and we could move forward and see what we do to assist. You know?
Will there be anything?
And those are the things.
Will there be anything, protocols in place for your campaigners and your supporters when it comes to the sanitization and so when it comes for them going to the polls?
Definitely, you know, I mean, I think this election during COVID, we have a number of people who are a little bit hesitant to go out and vote because of the mere fact of this COVID situation,
Yes.
the mere fact of their own personal health situations, etc. And for other reasons, you know, some people kind of live afraid and things. But I've been assuring people that as far as I know, the election and boundaries, the government is trying to put everything in place for the best possible scenario in terms of them going to vote, which will be safety, and safety first. Definitely our campaigners on the ground will be able to ensure they have their masks, ensure they have their sanitizers, ensure they have especially those who will be dealing with people in shields and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Our agents that will be in as scrutineers and that will have their shields and stuff. So these are the kind of things we are trying to put into place likewise to safeguard the safety of people, you know, especially like when we pick up people in our vehicles, we want to do our best for just have the one family going instead of trying to put other people in. Things like that we are looking forward to ensure that we have as best as possible a safe election, you know.
We know that usually election politicians always tell people to come out early, but this one is much more important for them to come out early.
Yes, I think it's important. I think early, you come out early, you vote, and that's it, you go home. These elections, like I said, will not be the same, and in a way, maybe that one good thing that you know have a lot of people that rally on both sides, UDP, PUP.
Yeah.
I think what the limit at 10 people, as far as I know, in terms, I don't know if that will change from here to election, but definitely you know have that big crowd of people out there, which to me is something good because we're in a COVID period where somebody have COVID and you need a big crowd that spreads. You know, you get a lot of people infected. So that will not be out there. And so I think that any day people could just take the day, and I think it's a day, a public and bank holiday. So people will have their time to just go out, vote, and go home.
Then there's a curfew as well, no?
And a curfew at 9 o'clock.
8, I think.
No, I think it's 9.
Oh, it's 9?
If I'm not mistaken. That will be the time they'll set. And that will run, ensure that people are not out there. We have to be mindful, you know. I mean, we don't have a serious situation in Orange Walk where we have a serious rise in terms of the amount of infected persons. And like I've always told people, where you say reported, there's always the underlining factor of the unreported cases. So
you don't catch all.
You don't catch all. So there's more out there. And so this is the reason why we have to be responsible. That is why when we had the nomination day, Checky, as much as I may want to have a crowd out there,
you may ready,
you know what? Watch out, with people they're out there, you know, and they want and call me and go to the office and get their vehicle ready. They want to go out there. You know, as a leader, I have to be responsible and tell them, listen to me, as much as we want to do this, this is not about showing strength right now. I think the strength is in your leadership, I think. And we don't have to do all of this thing. Although we want to do it because the day with blood for because nomination day is a celebration of the fact that you have been officially nominated. Your name will be on the ballot box for this general election. You know?
Right.
I mean, but we have to be responsible too because, Checky, you know, it's a pain in your heart for know that you have a crowd and somebody gets sick in that situation, pass away. How you gonna feel? You know, how that and on your conscience. You understand me? So, I mean, as tough as it was, you know, that is why I never gone out there with all the fanfare in terms of our nomination day. But that don't mean that we no go with support. And you know, when a time for flex your muscle in terms of bring out the crowd and that we can do that.
Yes.
So that is not an issue. But the fact is that at this point in time, we have to think COVID, and that is why even this election, it's all about COVID and the safety of our people, you know.
But saying that, and going into the election, Minister, do you believe you have your convictions, you believe that what will happen this time, that from all the goods and services that you have delivered to the East, do you feel like the voters will say, let's give Minister Aragon a next term in government so that the work continues?
Well, Checky, I've spoken to a lot of people. I've spoken to them whether on the phone or visiting them at their homes and thing. And I will tell you, people are going to give us that support. I feel confident in that. I think a lot of it has to do with the work that we have done, the leadership that I bring, and the mere fact that, man, you know, either from the Orange Walk East and people could stand with me, and I'm real as it gets, and I'm there for the people. And I think that goes a long way.
Hello, good morning, Sugar City Morning Show.
Morning, Checky, morning, Minister Aragon.
Morning,
Good morning.
I was listening to your discourse about the endorsement and not a lot of public gathering. I agree with you 100% because as a leader, you're responsible for your flock. So I respect your decision to restrain from wanting a code. I know it's a part of the political DNA to have gatherings and support. It's so much a part of politics in the East. And your ability to restrain yourself, and control your people from the area who wanted to come out speaks well of you. And more above that, it's responsible leadership. Unlike the PUP who have as their leadership, either they have no control or they don't care. They only care about showing their political power. That is the responsible leadership. So kudos to you being responsible and caring about your people, unlike the other side. Thank you.
Thanks, Carla.
We have our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Robert. Take your shot.
Good morning, Robert.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Yeah, morning.
It's only like 11 days go to victory. That's how I call it, no?
Yeah.
11 days go to victory for the United Democratic Party, and that includes you, my friend, Honorable Minister, that will be victorious on the 11th of November. I just want to know how petty and irresponsible the leader of the opposition is. Yesterday I was on my way to Carmelita when he stopped me by the bus stop, and he stopped by and tell me, Pierce. He said, surprised, because normally he doesn't call me Pierce, he call me Farmer, right? But he said, Pierce.
The Sonyo.
John, let me tell you one thing, and I want to say it to mention here, John Britannia will not be the Prime Minister of this country. It will be Patrick Faber, who will be Prime Minister of the United Democratic Party of the government. Our government of the United Democratic Party infrastructure within the country of Belize. And the people of Belize will return the United Democratic Party to the government. You can see this work at this presently done in Carmelita, right? And all over the original East, the amount of work we have done from the ending of 2014 to the present of 2020. You are the leader, the Honorable Aragon Jr., have done a well-done job. If only the blind cannot see, and the people who support the People's United Party will never see what the United Democratic Party has done and the infrastructure of this country, because they have no interest for see what the UDP have done. But we, the Belizean people, can see the corruption of the People's United Party. They are the makers, the boss of corruption. They have stolen millions of dollars. That I have just repeat what John Britannia have said. We can tell the Belizean people, including the world, that the PUP has a very, very bad cancer in terms of corruption and stealing and put the money in foreign banks. We, the Belizean people, will not allow the PUP to go up and steal us again. Thank you and good morning. Have a blessed day, sir.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah. Thank you, Carla.
So you believe that with that you have done and the goods and services that you have brought to Orange Walk East with the big employment and infrastructure, all the works that you have done, that is enough for the people to say, let's continue.
I think that is
progress.
a step in the right direction, and there's a lot more that needs to be done, Checky, and the work will continue, no doubt. And I feel confident in that the people look at me to see what we have done, what I have been able to put together and work for our division man. Our report card looks very, very good. And definitely I have the confidence in the people of Orange Walk East that they will give me that support, their continued support for us to continue to move the East to greater heights, So I'm confident in that, Checky. And like I said, what is important right now on everybody's mind for the 11th of November is who will be the next government. Well, I will tell you this, I think to a large extent, the United Democratic Party will be returned to office, and I say this because why? I mean, when you look at it, Checky, on the national picture, you know what the UDP stands for, the kind of infrastructure, in terms of the kind of governance, the good stewardship and all of these things. The UDP has a good report card. When you look at the PUP, man, the PUP, like the Carla mentioned, they're like one cancer. They have one cancer, but they're not treating cancer. They need to cut their hand for save the body, and they have refused to do so. They have had 10 or 12 long years that they could have done this, and they have not. They stay with the same old people who are the cancer of the People's United Party, the same people who were part and parcel of the most corrupt era in the history of this country. And these are the very same people who want to vie for political office, who represent the PUP right now. Man, it is a shame. They should have gone a long time ago, and I think if they may do that, then chances would have been far greater in terms of having been returned to office. They have not done that, and I guess the people of this country will have to assist them in doing that, and that will happen right here, the 11th of November. And I say that because at the end of the day, it is about leadership, good leadership that this country needs. I think the people of this country wants to see good leadership, and at the end of the day, the best option right now is the United Democratic Party. I don't see how any like-minded Belizean or people out there who really are sitting and looking at what is in the best interest of this country could ever think of giving the PUP, this PUP, who are the very same people that represent it right now, who brought this country to its knees, who sold out all our national assets to Ashcroft, who are involved in all kind of corruption and shady deals. Would people consider to putting them back in? I don't think so. I don't think so. And that is why I feel and I have the confidence that the people of this country will return the United Democratic Party to office, to government. And I say that with the confidence because, man, you and me, Checky, and everybody else in our community, we want the best, yes or no? We don't want to see the best for our country. We don't want to know that our country is in better hands. So that is why I think the United Democratic Party will get that vote of confidence, and it is about all the work that the United Democratic Party has done for the people of this country in terms of education, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the tourism industry, etc. And yes, I know say that there are areas that this government has to focus on, the UDP has to focus on, like agriculture and other areas, of course. I mean, and the party recognizes that. And these are the kind of things that will come and become a reality, and it will only happen under the United Democratic Party. When you look at the kind of candidates we are fielding, man, we have senior, we have new, we have old, everything in a mix that brings about a good party.
Yeah.
Unlike the PUP, where they're the same pack of wolves that basically sold out all our national assets and put us under the super bond. And these are the same people who now have no shame to be putting themselves back to run for government. I mean, this is just the same situation like the police station. The same man will take away your land. The same people will take away your land. They're right there, they campaign for the PUP. No shame, and when you look at all of this, Checky, these are simple reasons why the UDP will win again on the 11th of November, and will continue with the confidence of the people, And I've always told you, Checky, me real, the party is not perfect, but man, it is a better option right now compared to that of the PUP.
Well, Minister, it's time for us to close. In your closing remarks, I'd like to ask you to give an appeal to the country of Belize going into this election and for the residents from Orange Walk East.
Well, definitely, and I think next week being the last week where I have before election, I want to go at least two times for the week, so we could touch some other topics, and of course, ask the people for support, for their support for this election. Checky, you know, I think decision time is coming. We are days away. I think Mr. Pate mentioned 11 days away. Very important decision to be made by all the citizens of this country. Everybody where we know go and vote have an important decision. It's a sacred duty, a sacred right that you have under the Constitution of this country that you can vote. And I've always said to everybody, man, this vote of yours is sacred. When you go vote, do the right decision for your country and for your people. You know, for ourselves, you go vote for ourselves. For say, you know what, I want one better Belize. I want that my kids will have a better future. I want to see a good leadership that will move this country forward. We have to do that decision with our hearts, with our minds, and we go there and do what is right. And I will tell you this, Shaki, if we, as Belizeans across this country, make these right decisions, man, we have one better Belize. Simple as that. If we make the wrong decisions and we go put the pack of corrupt politicians back in office in terms of the PUP, because they really mess up this country. And we think for put them back, man, something wrong with we. Something is wrong with us. You know, and then we have to live with that. And then who we are blamed for that except ourselves? Let us as Belizeans make the right decision out there and come out there and support the UDP, because the UDP is the right option right now, Checky. In this time and era, it is the right option. I can't speak for the future. I can't speak for the past there much, but because I just in politics, but I could tell you right now that the United Democratic Party is the right decision right now for our people and our country. I think it has a lot that it will bring this next 5 years in terms of the work that it wants to do. But more importantly, it is about the stewardship of how we will move this country forward, especially coming out of this COVID, or we are still in there. We don't know how long, but I foresee that with the vaccines, we need good stewardship to move this country forward and to even greater heights, you know.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Checky. Just a quick question. What time the polls are open and what time they close? I think the people will know that.
Well, I think it'll be normal as per every year, every election year, no? I think from 7 to 6.
7 to 6.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, no?
Okay, Minister, well, we're looking forward to have you back next week.
Yes, man, I'm going to talk a little more politics, because Belizeans across this country don't need for make up on our mind. They need for think this thing straight and clear. And I think when you think about it, you will realize that there's only one option, and that's the UDP, Checky.
Right.
You know?
Well, thanks to everyone who tuned in on the East Radio. The show repeats tonight right after Truth Be Told, right here. And remember, the East Radio presents that program at 7:30 tonight. You can tune in to the 104.9 and listen to that show. That's where the hard politics are being presented, right, Minister?
Sure. That's right.
Yeah, so Rahim, thanks very much. Nadir, thanks very much. Everyone behind the scene. And we have the repeat of the Channel 7 news today. We have the hot news coming up at exactly 6 today. Thanks to everyone, the technicians there at the East Radio. Robert Checky Usher and Minister Aragon says, have yourself a good day. And tomorrow we'll be back right here on North Television, Channel 10.
On election day, let's make the right choice. Re-elect Elodio Aragon Jr. With you always, leadership that works. Representing Orange Walk East, because our future matters. Not even a question, who may voting be? You already know we voting for the UDP, cause they are the best one in the driver's seat. So go put your X right there, so for the son of the East. Yeah, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon, Aragon. We talking about who? Aragon, Aragon. The number one, we talking about who? Aragon, Aragon. One and only son out there of the East, yeah. We voting for Aragon, he go and repeat. Voting Aragon, he's the number one, yeah. Voting Aragon, he get the job done, yeah. And we're so blessed, and the Aragon bring progress. Hard working, not in a novice. And the Aragon show, oh yes. Leadership that works, tell your Aragon don't come to play.